Today is the day that Hayden's new CD, The Closer I Get, hits the stores in Canada. And here's Hayden. Hello.
Yeah.
So it's been an incredible few years. Like, I remember seeing you playing at Harbourfront to 10 people,
Right.
and then in the last year sharing the stage with Neil Young, playing before thousands of people, touring Japan. My God, big change. Tell me about the transition from low-fi basement recordings to major studio recordings.
I never really felt it along the way all that much, because as each thing happened as it went along, I just kind of dealt with it at the time. So, for instance, when I was playing at the Bridge School concert in San Francisco in front of thousands of people, it was, if I had pictured myself there 2 years before, I never would have believed it or wouldn't have been able to handle it. But because of what happened up to that point, I could.
There were stages where you got used to other existence. And has your life changed a lot?
Yes and no. Sometimes I don't let it change too much.
How are you able to do that then? Not letting it go too crazy for you?
Just staying close to my friends that I was friends with before anything really happened, and living in Toronto helps, you know, and just doing things for the right reasons, and being careful about what I do, I guess.
Moving careful.
Yeah, it's just,
and what would those right reasons be? Like, what are the right reasons?
Recording a song a certain way because it makes you feel right, instead of recording it so that it can get on the radio. That's an example. Playing, opening for someone on tour because you honestly love their music, and not because it'll mean you're playing to way more people and therefore sell more records. You know, like just things like that, I guess.
Well, you recorded this album in a lot of studios with a lot of different people, but basically I got the feeling that you oversaw the complete project. You're co-producing, you're playing an instrument's worth of, or an orchestra's worth of instruments, a lot of stuff. Does maintaining control over artwork, instrumentation, and production enable you to maintain the personal quality of your music? Yeah. It's hard for me to give something over when it means so much to me, and this obviously was a year and a half's worth of work, and I was really careful about making it my own thing, you know, and something that in 10 years I'd be really proud of still. So, and that's one of the reasons why it took so long to do. From the get-go on the first track, The Closer I Get to Being Strong, your voice really exudes a frail kind of vulnerability. And are you like a sensitive guy?
Sometimes. Some days. Yeah, I guess so.
So it seems like so it's not just like something that you key into while you're making music. For instance, when I sang that song in the studio, I sang it in the first take, and it had a certain feel to it that I knew it wasn't perfect, but it had something, and I felt something when I was singing it, so I kept it there, even though there's that little wavering thing that some people don't like, but to me, it makes it real, you know. Well, there's a lot of, I find there's a lot of people that are really out of touch with their emotions. They're, either they're kind of volatile, like it's easy to get angry, but it's difficult for a lot of men to be, sensitive and vulnerable. Like, well, what happened to you? How come you're able to express these things that most people are reluctant to?
Oh, gee, I don't know. I think when I'm feeling that way and thinking that way, I sit down and write a song. I don't, I'm not Mr. Sensitive and
You're not a
more
sensitive
than anyone else. You know what I mean? It's just when I write, I'm feeling a certain way, and that comes out in the songs, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Love
love and fear and trying to connect those themes in your music.
Right.
Do you think this is like a city phenomenon? Like living in Toronto, is it a difficult city to connect with people?
Yeah, I find that, but myself personally, I prefer to be really good friends with a small group of people than to be acquainted with a lot of people. You know what I mean? Like when I call someone a friend, I mean they're my friend. You know, so that's just the way I am. I know people are different, obviously, but the people I'm friends with in Toronto, I feel, you know, they're people who help me, and I help them.
You're a bit of a homebody?
Yeah, I stay home a lot. Yeah.
Do you go out to like nightclubs and stuff? Like, what do you think of the crowd mentality of like going out and like partying with lots of strangers and stuff?
I'm not so into that right now. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. It's interesting. I was actually saying I wouldn't mind going to some sort of rave or something in the next year.
You have to like get your fluorescent clothes on and learn to...
Yeah, see, I couldn't do that, so forget it.
Well, you think about suburbs and living in cities, so a lot of sort of modern aspects to what you're singing about, but your choice of instrumentation sort of suggests like a more of a nostalgic path, like a sort of rustic feel, you know, like the acoustic guitars and instruments. Are you sort of an old-fashioned person?
Well, specifically when I record, I tend to like real sounds more than synthetic sounds, and especially around the year and a half that I was working on this, I wasn't listening to anything that was released in the last few years. I listened to a lot of music from the 60s and 70s when, you know, there was more natural instrumentation in the songs and a more natural feel to the way things were recorded. And I'm not sure if it came out in this, but I mean, some people have said they hear that in it.
Yeah, you have like a nature thing happening, like the outdoors and camping.
Yeah,
in your pop tent. Do you go camping a lot?
Not as much as I'd like to, but I enjoy it when I do get to go.
This new video you have, Hazards of Sitting Beneath Palm Trees is the actual song, but you've changed it to Pine Trees for the music video. How did you come up with this musical idea, or the music video idea?
Well, I worked with a guy named Eric Eland, who is an amazing director, and that was important for me to, if I wasn't going to be able to do the video myself, to get someone who I really trusted would do a good job, and he was amazing to work with. And we just thought the whole camping idea and being up north, that we'd go to a cottage, and we just hung out for 4 or 5 days up at the cottage and shot whatever, and that's what happened.
So nature is important to you?
Yeah, really important, especially living in a big city.
Yeah. Well, good luck on the tour. May 27th, you're going to be heading across Canada with your band.
Yeah.
And, yeah, CD out today. Thanks for coming in, Hayden.
Thank you.